Justice Gorsuch.
Why do you want to be in federal court?
That's a great question. We have 4 reasons, 2 generally speaking and 2 specific to this case. The 2 general, the first is I can't do better than Paul Clement last month, quoting Daniel Webster in response to a similar question. There's value in having your case litigated in a forum that respects the federal authority. We agree with that. In addition, this case here is important because federal courts are uniquely qualified to decide federal common law of foreign affairs issues. That's just not something state courts deal with very often. The 2 specific reasons that we have is that typically there are no interlocutory appeals from the state courts to this court, except for very narrow exceptions. And if the Michigan Supreme Court were to uphold a preliminary injunction, a non-final order that shut down the pipeline, took away half of the fuel for the Detroit airport, resulted in no propane for heating for the entire Upper Peninsula of Michigan and 2/3 of the residents in the of the Lower Peninsula. Those are the types of things that we would want a federal court to be able to weigh in, and we wouldn't be able to do that at an interlocutory stage. And then finally, because Enbridge has its own affirmative lawsuit against the governor in federal court, and it's acknowledged to have subject matter jurisdiction, as Judge Neff talked about in her orders, that creates this race to judgment instead of a single consolidated action. And that's one of the reasons why she did not abuse her discretion when she allowed the Attorney General's case to be removed.
Are you concerned that you would not get a fair shake in state court?
I'm not impugning.
And if so, what's the basis for that?
Yeah, I'm not impugning the state courts at all, but I'm guessing that the Michigan state courts have not dealt very often with the federal common law of foreign affairs jurisdiction. That's something that's uniquely situated to the federal system. And then, again, you have this race to judgment problem.
Doesn't come up that often in regular federal district court litigation either.
Certainly it does more often than state court litigation. I'm guessing that from time to time at least, federal courts deal with issues involving the United States and foreign sovereigns. And that's one of the really unique things about this case, which makes the exercise of equity especially crucial, as the district court recognized.
Thank you.